today as we bid you, our illustrious dignitaries, speakers, and guests, a very good morning and a cordial welcome. This is our mission. The joint efforts of the Institute of Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka, the Institute of Chartered Professional Managers of Sri Lanka, and the Association of Management Development Institutions in South Asia have brought us together to strategize. It will be a day of sharing, a pooling of experience from South Asia and Southeast Asia, examining the many facets of higher education and the challenges faced by professionals responsible for advancing the field. Pure academic contemplation of the problems is inadequate, however. So it is apt that we now invite to open the conference a man of action who has devoted much of his professional life to bridging the gaps in higher education. Embodying the spirit of the three organizing bodies, here now is the president of CMA Sri Lanka and CPM Sri Lanka and past president of AMDISA, Professor Lakshman R.Watawala, with words of welcome.
Good morning to all of you. Our chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor Mohan De Silva, the chairman of the University Grants Commission, the president of the Association of Management Development Institutions in South Asia, Professor Nisad Ahmad Siddiqui from Pakistan, Dr. Chandra Embuldeniya, who has been really a great source of strength and inspiration in the formulation of this conference. Our distinguished invitees from AMDISA, this really includes some of the eminent university professors from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, of course Sri Lanka is already there, a member, Bhutan, Maldives, and of course we are still waiting for Afghanistan to come in. So they were here for the annual general meeting and I am very grateful for them for sparing an additional day to stay with us to share their experiences. Of course our distinguished invitees and participants at the conference, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of all three institutes, the CMA Sri Lanka, the CPM Sri Lanka, and AMDISA, warmly welcome you to this most important conference, not only for Sri Lanka, but for South Asia, as well as our good friend and professor from Malaysia, Professor Ali Kadri. This International Higher Education Conference on Strategies to Bridge the Gap in Higher Education Intake, South and Southeast Asian Experiences. So we are very fortunate that while having our own professors and also the others who are really involved in the higher education, tertiary education, also professional education, who are here to take part at this conference. If you really look at the main reason why we organized this, you can say that the main reason was to draw your attention that there are 165,000 students passing the GC advanced level exam in Sri Lanka. But however, only 25 to 30,000 are eligible, but I am sure our chief guest today will be able to tell us of the various actions that they are taking and also the main role that they are playing to enter government universities. Because here, I think all of you should know that the education in Sri Lanka is free from the primary to secondary to tertiary, and also maybe the postgraduate qualifications. So this is something that has been enjoyed by many, but unfortunately, although free education has been given, at one time we were very happy that we had a very high literacy rate, but unfortunately today the world has changed, the digital revolution has taken place, and literacy has been overtaken. So that's why we need the higher education, the skill development to take place, and the utmost priority be given to this. So therefore, Sri Lanka needs an urgent solution to meet this gap in progressing from secondary to tertiary education sector, a serious concern for any developing country, and to find urgent solutions to make Sri Lanka an education hub with technology and demand-driven university courses to meet the job market requirements. So today we have invited not only the professors and the professional institutions, but those who are really going to employ them, the employers. They will be able to tell us what they need and whether the people who are presently being produced are fit enough to work in that organization. I just want to mention one small point in this. For many of the private sector heads that I have spoken to, they say age is a very important criteria in their selection. When you are young, you are ready to learn, but when you are maybe 24, 25, you want to teach the employer what has to be done. So this, I think, is a very serious concern, because after A-level, we waste 1 year, and that is really a great concern for all of us. So we must be able to come out by 21, 22, and then join and also do your masters and come in. The complexity of competing in the global economy requires not only advanced skills, but also a workforce that can adjust to shift in demand. These are appearing in some of the World Bank reports. And if you see that out of the 142 countries that they have evaluated, in the Global Competitiveness Index, Sri Lanka compares favorably with the rest of South Asia, but trails behind East Asian countries. If the country is to transition from being factor-driven to being efficiency-driven, its workers need the ability to operate the latest equipment of technology, computer knowledge, and fluency in foreign languages to communicate with international clients. So this is a very important thing, and I was just analyzing some of the problems. Maybe if you take the last 10 years, we have not been able to provide higher education opportunities, maybe at least 100,000 per annum, which comes to 1 million, which I think is a very great number, considering our trying to be an education hub and also to be skill-driven, attract foreign direct investment, which many are talking, because maybe in the 70s, we were able to give the cheap labor, but that is not there. But today we need the skills and the higher education to come in. So I am very happy that we have a very eminent professor who is in charge of the UGC. So he has been really driving this, and I am sure that under his guidance and challenges that he has, he will be able to transform and also tell us as to what could be done. Then of course you will find that some of the other connected matters, we are having discussions, and the discussions are really by eminent panelists. I must thank all of them. They have sacrificed their time. Some of them, I know the Vice Chancellor, University of Peradeniya. He's come all the way from Peradeniya. I must thank Dr. Chandra Emoldeniya for inviting him. So like that, many of them know the importance of this, so they have really come here to sacrifice this. Of course, we have foreign dignitaries who are coming from all those overseas countries and from Malaysia. So they have all come to help us in this regard. So I'm sure that the various areas that we are discussing here, including the how to meet the gap, the quality control, and accreditation that is required. Now, another new sector that we have invited for this conference is the private education sector. Now, even in the private education sector, there are 3 sectors that we have identified. One is the private education, private universities, which have been approved by the UGC. Then we have the private universities that are doing affiliated to foreign universities, and we have the other one, the public-private partnership. That is both, they are doing the local degrees as well as the foreign degrees. So there are 3 types that we have identified, but all these, as you know, would be fee-levying. But if you really look at the costs, going abroad is so very costly, but doing it here would be very much cheaper. So we have to look at all these things, because today in all countries they are charging a fee, but which we may have to pay. But I'm sure that we will be able to listen to our eminent personalities from overseas countries as to how they can make it affordable. That's the most important thing. We may have a cost, but it has to be affordable. So that's, I think, the most important thing. Not free, but I think we should today now think of affordable. Everyone is asking for free, but let us now think of a new way how we can go forward. Then it will be affordable. If you spend something, you value it. If you get it free, you find the people on the roads protesting. So I think we should not go to that. So let us now understand our responsibilities and then take it forward. So I think this is a very important thing. Of course, in the final conclusion, what we really want to draw up, today we are having, say, 15% entering the universities. How we can bring this up to 50%? Then we have a serious problem in the school education, 60,000 coming as our students. How can we change this to bring in the STEM education so that the villagers can have science education? They are talking of really poverty alleviation. The fastest way that we can alleviate poverty is education. Education is the thing, and Sri Lanka, I'm sure, will be able to achieve this, because maybe in 48 we were top of the world. If you take all our countries that are here, we were the number 1. But today, we have not been able to achieve that. I'm sure today, we are all meeting here to see how we can now correct the mistakes that we have made and to take it forward. So let me once again thank all of you. I must also thank all the panelists and the others who have helped in this, a lot of them to whom I have personally spoken, and they are here in large numbers, and I'm sure that this conference would be of great benefit to all of us, and at a time when there is a presidential election, we would be able to send our proposals to them to see what they have to do to take this country forward. Thank you very much.